Hello, testing. Oh, trigger. Triggers. I should have held you for longer. Elastic. Hello, Gusta. Is it Gusta? Apologizes. How are you today? All right. Are you a subscriber, Gusta, or are you just finding us? Survived Irma? Wow. Where are you located, buddy? Oh, thank you for that. You just found me. You may. Does this look familiar at all? Like you just found me right now? You haven't seen my chart patterns yet? Well, they're not my chart patterns. I didn't make them up, but hopefully some of my regulars will be on here. It's a little bit early for them. $281 in the cryptos. So yeah, Gusta, if you haven't seen this pattern before, this is a head and shoulders pattern, and South Florida. Well, wow, buddy. Hope everything's okay. That you're sitting here on a YouTube live stream. I hope everything went okay for you. But yeah, so we have this head and shoulders in Ethereum. We've been talking about this ever since this large drop, probably about 4 videos ago or so. And we've been calling or looking for this possible breakdown of this neckline, and it looks like it's happening right now. I've actually live streamed like the previous, except for last night, like the previous 3 nights in a row, and here, and here, waiting for this thing to pop, and it's finally popping, breaking below these lower support levels. This neckline looks like it's actually getting broken to the downside at this point. I mean, depending on if you take the neckline here, but I think this is a very valid neckline. So, are you familiar with the head and shoulders pattern? Hello, snakiest. Very nice, very nice. Oh, Gusta, sorry, I was posting the YouTube stream over here. Yeah, so with the head and shoulders pattern, this is actually a reversal pattern. If you've been involved with crypto for any time frame, you probably have seen this big top in Ethereum. We came and retested this top. Over here at this high, we have a head and shoulders pattern, which is a reversal pattern. It consists of a high, which is eclipsed with a higher high, but is then reversed with a lower high. Preferably, these are at about the same level, and in this case, they are. And in between the shoulder and the, in between the shoulder and the head, you have a pullback, and at the bottom of both of these pullbacks is the neckline. So you draw a line there, and then you can actually derive a target if this neckline is broken. If this pattern continues, you can what you do is you draw a line from the top of the head to the bottom of the to the neckline, and then you just, wherever it breaks down from, that's your potential target for Ethereum right over here. How many bars ahead would you predict? I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm not in the prediction game. Believe it or not, if you've been trading for any period of time, you understand that all of your predictions mean nothing and they will just cost you money in the long run. You can't have expectations, however. You can't have expectations. And I don't know if I expect this to get down here, but this large of a chart pattern implies a movement down here to this 185, 190 area. That is what this implies. As far as how long it takes to get there, that's up to the market. That's really uncertain. Sometimes these things can crack quite unexpectedly and go straight down. Sometimes they can flounder out about for a couple of days and then crack. There's really no time frame involved here. It's just a level. It's just a level. But if this does get down here, I will probably be... I'm in cash. I've been in cash since somewhere over here. I don't remember. It's been a few days since I sold now, but somewhere over here. And I will probably be a full boat position in if we get down in this level at some point. So Litecoin has been selling off with the rest of the market, down 7%. Oh, it cracked. Yeah, so that's going to be a toughie, buddy. That's going to be a toughie, especially at this level. I don't like to sell at lows, but this doesn't really have a discernible pattern in the same way that Ethereum does. So it's hard to say where it can go. We have areas of support, which would be back near this high, either the peak of this candle or kind of over here towards the body of the candle, which would coincide with this breakout area, which we actually talked about this breakout on the channel. So yeah, it could get down here to 55. I mean, are you comfortable with that? That really depends. Followed my advice with patterns and all on 4-hour chart of Syscoin, flag pattern, low volume, breakout, and I bought at 736. Did you sell it again there? How did that work? I don't think I quite understand. So a flag pattern with low volume. Okay, so on the breakout volume, hopefully it increased. That's typically what you want to see on a breakout. It should increase. Yeah, let me give you an example of a trade I recently did, and I was doing one of these live streams, and one of the buddies here bought in the 40s and panic bought in the upper 80s. Yeah, so here I'm going to give both of you a lesson here real quick. So we bought OK Coin in this chat room, in this live chat room. I don't know exactly when. I'll have to go back and look at the things. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I can overweight too. I can do that. And as a trader, one of the main things you have to do, if you're new, Snakiest and Gusta, if you're new, one of the things you have to learn and understand quickly, I mean, as quick as you possibly can, is your own tendencies as a trader, because the market is going to do what it's going to do. You have no control over that. You can't. This is why I talked earlier about I don't predict, because I have no control over what the market does. All I can do is see good price action and then trade a plan based on my experience. So what we did here on OK Cash, it was actually popping up here. And during the live stream, I think I streamed for like 3 hours that day. During this live stream, it popped and I wasn't about to buy up here, but it came down and was pretty orderly. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm on a 2-hour chart. I want to be accurate. Let me go to the 15-minute. I just use the exchanges. I have Bittrex, Bitfinex, stuff like that. Okay, so this is what it was. So we popped out of this long consolidation area right here. We came up and we started consolidating right over here. And we were looking at it somewhere in here, and it came down, popped, and then started curling up. I actually bought right here. I bought right here in this chart pattern. I'll tell you why in a minute, but I bought right here, and I held through all of this, and I actually sold out somewhere, one of these bars, I don't remember, but somewhere up here. I sold somewhere up here. The reason I sold is because, number one, it was spiking straight up. That's called a parabolic move. And anytime you see a parabolic move, number one, don't buy. Okay, number one, don't buy. Number two, think about selling all or part of your position. Now, I actually sold all of my position. Kind of turned out to be a bad move because OK Cash held up really well since. But I sold because of this massively high volume and because of this large price bar. So I sold up here and I bought right here. And, you know, we got a good gain on that. But the point of this is, this was out of a long consolidation area. Are you following me here? We have a run up. We have a run up, an uptrend. You want to see an uptrend before you buy anything. So we see an uptrend, then we see it flattening out, then it starts to curl up, breaks out of this high, and then consolidates, and I got in on this upper consolidation. Yeah, you know, I don't do Elliott waves, to be honest with you. I know they can be handy. I generally don't. That's not a strategy that I personally follow. I just have a hard time like finding out where's the top, where's the intermediate top, and then you get in like ABC patterns and all kinds of weird stuff. So, yeah, I really don't do Elliott waves. But the reason I sold up here is because of the large volume bar and the large price bar. That indicates kind of an extreme, and if you get an extreme of sorts, you kind of want to sell into it. So that's kind of a little bit of an explanation. So if we go back over here to Litecoin, what are we doing in Litecoin? Like we're popping up a little bit here. So all these are forms of extremes right here. You notice all these extremes kind of get faded, right? So this extreme got faded. This was a downtrend that got faded to the upside. This was an extreme and was a downtrend that was, again, faded to the upside on the high volume bar. So usually when you have these extremes, markets get faded in the reverse direction. So this may fade up here a little bit, maybe give you a chance to get out if you get back up here towards 65. If you're not going to be holding for 3 to 6 months, I would consider selling. So this is the thing with like giving trading advice at a one-on-one level, at a personal level. Your time frame, and as far as how you trade, your time frame is going to be extremely important to the advice that you are receiving. Okay, because my time frame and your time frame could be completely different, and my advice is not going to work for you. So if you bought up here in the upper 80s and you're just doing it for a trade and you don't have a long-term time horizon, that being said, you're probably already down like, yeah, about 25% or so. If it pops back up to here, you're down 22%. That 3% isn't life-changing. So if you're going to sell, just cut your losses and get out. If you're in it for the long haul, hypothetically, let me talk about that hypothetically, because what happens is people buy at extremes and then they end up holding because these things go down in price and they become investors. So if this is all of your account, this is the main source of your account, man, that's so tough. That's so tough. I know me in the past, I've had situations where I've been in your situation and I've actually just lost a ton of money and then it's reversed and gone right back up and I was kind of pissed. I've also had situations where I've sold and the thing just kind of goes down and flattens out for weeks and months and then I was kind of happy I sold. So honestly, it's kind of a crapshoot. Personally, I cut my losses. And I am a firm believer that cash is a position. Look at Syscoin. Let's check it out. Syscoin. Let's go to a wider time frame because that doesn't look too healthy. Okay. Okay, not horrible. It is selling off with the market here, so that's on large volume. That's not too healthy right there. It doesn't look like selling's over in this one. I've never looked at this chart before. Go to the 1 day. Okay, look at that. Nice run up here. It's 2,800%. I hope you bought down here, right? You bought right here, didn't you? So yeah, I'm generally not a fan of this action. I would not buy this at this point in time. Chop on chop. It's a little hard to say if this market stays bad. I would ditch everything. I mean, I'm already like I think 99% cash. I have a so Gusto talking about Litecoin, and I was referring to people becoming long-term holders. I am an official long-term holder in EOS. I am a long-term holder in EOS, and I bought it kind of up here right before the drop, before all the bad news happened. I actually bought it right here on this large volume bar, thinking maybe it was a semblance of a bottom. I bought a small position. It's like $100 or something. It's like 80. Actually, it's like $86. So I bought like $86 worth of it, and I'm down quite a bit, like 42%. So I'm a long-term holder in EOS. So yeah, you can become long-term holders in some of these coins. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. My mic is that a little better? I'm using a pair of headphones, and sometimes it rubs on my shirt. I can hold it out a little bit if that's a little bit better. I also have a noise gate on there, so Stratos. We can look at Stratos. We can look at anything. We have the technology. We have the technology. Okay. Stratos. So overall, I'm a fan of Stratos. Right here, it's doing what it's been doing since this large run-up. It's been in this massive consolidation area, and it's still in it. So what would you like to look at? What's your question about Stratos? Because it's literally doing nothing. Just for your information and everybody's information, do not invest in coins that do nothing. Not saying Stratos is a bad coin. I'm just saying right here, it's literally doing nothing. So the market is in kind of an equilibrium state. It's kind of, where's it going to be at the end of the month? I don't know. I've got no idea. I don't control Stratos. I don't control it. So what the charts are saying right now, is that we're kind of at an inflection point for the next week or so. We're kind of at an inflection point in Stratos. Doesn't mean something has to happen. It's just a likely place where some things do happen. We can definitely see a form of a bottom right here in Stratos. Okay, it's just sitting here. So this can literally go in either direction. It really just depends. Anyone that is going to give you any kind of upward or downward advice here is trying to sound smart. Just to be flat out honest with you. They're just trying to sound smart. Maybe they have a position. Maybe they're a believer in the technology and they think it's going to go up. Now, on the flip side of that, we're so early in the crypto game that, I mean, most of these are going to go up. There's very few moves in this market that aren't faded from one side to the other. So I do believe this will go to the upside at some point. Whether it does so I kind of bought EOS on that same thing, right? So we had this flat here on EOS. I actually had these trend lines drawn here. I can remove them now, probably. Get these out of here. Come on. So yeah, I draw these trend lines looking for support and resistance. This was broken to the upside, and it faded it back down. But I thought, okay, it's sitting here. It's at an inflection point. I'll take a little position, and now I'm down 42%. So I don't buy at inflection points without evidence of upside movement. Thank you, Korean Sam. Thank you, Korean Sam. I appreciate that. Spread the news. I need more subscribers. Then I can do more fun stuff. So anyway, so someone mentioned Neil. Let's get to Neil real quick. I'll just move my way down the chat there. Neo, where are you? Someone sees Neo pointed out. There we go. Okay. So I've got a good buddy, Real Crypto. The dude's awesome. He actually lives in Phoenix. He's a friend of mine. And I saw a thing where he said on Twitter that Neil was done to the downside. And that's him being biased in this market. That is a bias that he has against Neo. Okay? Super guy, very knowledgeable, but this is a rare case where he has bias. I don't think Neo's done to the downside at all. Not because I don't think that, but because this chart doesn't say that it is. So we're on the let's go to the 2-hour chart on Neo. Get auto. There we go. Okay. So as we know, Neo had the crackdown on the banning of Chinese ICOs, and since then it's been going upward, and it formed this trend line, which we broke to the downside, was tested, failed, tested again, failed again, and now we're heading lower. So for the foreseeable future, until there's evidence of purchasing, this is a dead coin to me. Dead to me. Dead. So that's Neo. If that's not clear enough, I'd be happy to explain further. Don't mind that at all. DGB. Oh, Digibyte. You know, I don't do much with Digibyte, but I've heard about it. Digibyte. Okay, we're on the 2-hour chart. Let's get some history. Anytime you look at a coin, guys, you really want to look at the long-term picture. You want to see if it's never done anything. Like if the chart's like this and then it pops up, my ears are perked. My ears are perked. But what we have here is a very large uptrend and a longer consolidation that it's just kind of been moving around sideways. Now, you know, we popped up here, we failed going higher, and now we're living back down towards the lows. So, you know, do you want to be invested in something pointing down or something invested, or do you want to invest in something pointing up? I'm just going to ask you that. Monero. Yeah, trading's a pretty simple game, guys. When you start to kind of understand the rules and kind of understand what it's about and why price does the things that it does. Why price? That's not a good sentence. Why price does what it does. So Monero, I'll be honest with you, I completely effed up this breakout. Oh, I completely messed up this breakout. Didn't even touch this on this 150% game. I feel like an idiot. Anyway, that being said, we have been in a higher level consolidation. Monero has been a little more steady than even the higher level coins, Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's been pretty high up here and it's been staying up here, especially since this was a very recent move. Most of these recent moves have been faded down drastically, and this is one that it is not. It has not been faded. At the same time, at this moment in time, this everything's kind of selling off today, or at least right now. Not today, but right now. But Monero was just kind of sitting in a consolidation. Looks like there's no big sellers up here. If you look at the volume pattern here, there's really no big sellers. So it's just chilling, waiting for something. If you're a long-term believer in Monero, blah, 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 yeah, you can probably go ahead and I wouldn't take a position here based on this market cracking, but I mean, if Ethereum and Bitcoin continue to go down, it's probably going to take most of the coins down with them for the foreseeable future. If you want to know more about that, my last video, like, is this the end for Bitcoin? I talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and those are the two market leading coins, so you need to pay attention to those and go watch that video because it's going to give you a little bit of insight into the charts there. Do I use order books as reference, sell, or buy walls, for example? I do if I'm extremely interested in a coin. Other than that, no. So this is the thing about sell and buy orders. Right now, I can go into my... Well, I don't have it up here. I don't have any trading windows open. But I can go in here. I can place an order right here, right? Trading, buy. You know, I don't have it hooked in. But if I wanted to do that, I can go ahead and Okay, there we go. I can place a buy order here, 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 here. I can place a buy order forever. Like I can literally, I can make walls. I can make fake walls. So anytime you see those walls in the books, they look really nice. And I actually looked at one today because a buddy of mine showed it to me. He's like, check out this coin. And I checked it out and it didn't look good. Then I looked at the wall and it was red when he showed me it was green just 10 minutes ago. So those walls change all the time. What you do pay attention to is if it's hitting one of those walls and what is it doing. That's what you pay attention to, is what it does. You don't want to look at, you know, arbitrary things, because especially in the US stock market, they will actually put up fake bids and fake asks to manipulate the price into doing what they want it to do, because people look at those and will trade off of those, and they will play off of those people's weaknesses because that's their weakness. They'll prey on them. So no, I don't use order books, seller buy walls as a reference. I only use them when I'm actively trading. I try to gauge if it's a strong trend or a weak trend, if there's a lot of buying or if there's a lot of selling. But I generally do that with price, with actual trades, not with actual walls. Is now a good time to buy Golem? Thanks for these awesome videos, live streams. You are the best person on the planet. Oh, you're welcome, Corian. Thank you. Golem. Hey guys, I heard there's a complaint about my microphone chopping up. Is it a little better now? Just let me know. Is now a good time to buy Golem? No. Thoughts on Aetherium Classic? So I'll give you a little more. I'll give you a little more. But I don't think any time that a market is falling is a good time to buy anything. Now, that being said, I'm not a great bottom fisher. That's not my strength. I can identify a bottom sometimes, and I can notice a bottom, but there's something about catching a falling knife that isn't very appealing. So if I were to be in a kitchen and I were to drop a sword, or anywhere, if I were to drop a sword, would you catch that sword, or would you let it fall to the floor and be like, okay, the sword's done, and then pick it up by the handle? What sounds a little nicer to you? So when these things are dropping, they're literally falling knives because you don't know where the floor is. Okay? Now, you need to see a floor. So I'll show you a floor real quick. I'm going to go into Aetherium. So this is a recent floor. Now, not all floors are, forever floors, but all these high volume spikes are floors of a type, floors of a kind. This one didn't work out so well, but this is a type of a floor. You can take a position on this. This is a type of a floor. You can try to take a position on this, but you need to be wary, because if it goes against you and starts reversing, you need to get out because your buy was bad. And if you're that active, then yeah, you can try to buy that, but understand that you're probably going to take a loss unless you learn to do that extraordinarily well. And there's some gauges you can use. You can try to use what's called a measured move. So here's a measured move. A measured move is where you take a high to a low, and then you kind of extrapolate that down. See, notice this measured move actually worked out. We talked about this in the videos as well. When this first cracked, I talked about a possible measured move, and it actually came to happen. Came to fruition on this one. They don't always, but it's something to keep an eye on. Aetherium Classic. So let me ask you a question. You're looking at Aetherium Classic here. Would you like to buy Aetherium Classic here? Ask you that question. So that's a valid question. Would you like to buy this right here? Because we're in a similar situation. Actually, it's worse. It's a little worse in my opinion. But this is it came down faded. Would you like to buy this? You could. Granted, it made a little pop. If you're going to trade that pop, then go ahead and buy it. If you're going to hold for a little while, if you're going to go to sleep right away, you could have woken up and then kind of seen this bar down here, and then would you get out, or would you buy more? So you kind of see where this goes. You kind of see where this goes. This goes into, I don't know where this is in this pattern. You know, that's pretty much what this boils down to is I don't know what the future holds. You don't know what the future holds. No one knows what the future holds. And you're taking an extreme risk when you try to buy at lows. Unless that's your thing and you're very good at it and you've lost enough money to be good at it, it's going to be painful more often than it's going to be fruitful. So, are you asking if I see a floor, or you said you do see a floor? Yep, you're welcome. I keep it real. I do. I don't want you guys. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to give you some. I don't want to give you some crappy advice of some belief that I have, and then I'm wrong, and then you suffer because of it. That's bullshit. That's just stupid. You know, I can't trade for you guys. You have to trade for yourselves, and you have to know what to look for, okay? And based on what you trade and how you trade. And it, you know, if you tell me exactly your strategy or what you've been doing, or if you're brand new, I can try to help you, you know, in that way to get you pointed in the right direction and thinking in the right ways, but I can't, you know, I can't do it for you. I use no oscillators. No. So let's pull up an oscillator on here. Let's pull up okay. Yeah, so here's an oscillator. Here's an oscillator. Which oscillator do you use? Which one? What up, Dan? How you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Yes, I saw the market kind of crack that 280, 285, 290 level, so I thought I'd jump on the live stream. You know, Dan, we've been trying to watch this thing go down. We're going to get it right one of these times. We're going to get it right one of these times. So, that's true, Jay. You know, that is true. It is their decision. It is their choice. At the same time, I want to give you information where you can derive an answer for yourself. I can give you good philosophies on trading. I can give you an outlook. I can give you, you know, but I'm not going to, sometimes I do say to sell. If it's like a blatant sell to me, I'll say, you know, just sell it here no matter what, because you're just going to lose a lot of money. But that's pretty rare. CMG, stochastic RSI, RSI, and a few others at times. CMF. Why? So this is a lot to look at on this chart. Okay, you got this guy all the way down here at lows. You got this guy about to break the 20 level. It's usually 20. Is it 20? No, now it's 30 for some reason. Now it's 30. So this is the problem with indicators. Everyone has a new fandangled freaking indicator that does the new fandangled crazy fandangled thing, and then they all fail at some point. They all fail at some point. I mean, look at this big extreme right here. This chart pattern does not account for that whatsoever. I can't tell you why this extreme exists in this RSI. I can't tell you that these particular numbers will work for this particular time frame. Okay, that's just it's like a wild goose chase. You're just constantly worried about, at least for me, like I tried using them for a while, and then I'm like, someone said once, is like, yeah, there's just too much on the chart. It's like, you only need price and action because all this stuff is reverse looking. All these things look backwards. Why is this, in this period, why did this go from, you know, the perceived extreme to the perceived extreme, and why did this one barely move? You know? Which one do you follow and why? Oh, well, under certain circumstances you use this, you use the stochastics, but if you have this market, you use the RSI, blah blah blah. But then if this happens, you use the CCI. Eric, what's up? Yeah, so let's do what. Sorry, you know what, guys? I really beat up on indicators there. Let me back up. If you're comfortable using them, that's fantastic. The reason I don't use them is because I think it's noise on my chart, and the only thing that pays is price, and the only indicator that really matters is volume, because that is a tangible event. That's a tangible event. So price and volume is really all you need. If you get good with price and volume, you'll have the RSI up there, and you will find yourself glancing down there less and less and less. My opinion on Fibonacci levels. Yeah, I don't put a lot of faith in fibs. I will very. Hold on, guys. What's up, babe? No, go ahead. Actually, can you get me some water? I'm kind of. James, can you get me some water? Sorry, guys. My kids are here. It's my fiance Rachel with my child James, and they're getting ready for bed. Dan, you got 200% on OK. Beautiful. Yeah, I did pretty good on that one too. I'm not sure what my percent was exactly, but yeah, that was a good trade, man. That was a really nice trade. Crypto market is made on the month, not the days. It's fun to trade. 10% for quick R. Thank you, James. You gonna brush your teeth? All right, guys, hold on a second. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. I'm back. Thanks for waiting me out. Thanks for waiting me out. Okay, so we were having some nice discussions here about indicators and stuff. Yeah, generally don't use indicators. You sold OK coin at 200%. Let's pull up OK coin. Actually, we went over this earlier in the chat. Actually, here's OK coin. P-Toy, good old P-Toy. Let's go through OK coin real quick. So we were in the chat, well, a couple of days ago, right? We're in the chat a couple of days ago, 4 days ago, and we were chatting right around this. We were chatting right around here, and someone mentioned OK coin in the chat room here, and I saw this chart, and I just asked Dan. I just went gangbusters. I just went crazy. I think I actually. Hey, Lucid, how you doing? Yeah, you're looking for the drop too. That's why I'm streaming today. I didn't stream last night. I actually got to get some sleep last night, but yeah, so we cracked the 290, 285 level, so I jumped on. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday, something like that. But we were chatting over here, and someone mentioned OK Cash, and I looked at this chart, and if you go back and look at the live stream, I think I stopped and then got really excited and then bought it. Like literally, I just bought it in the chat and sold everything else, bought this, and then we wrote it up. I'm not sure quite where you guys got out, but I got out somewhere up here. I got out on this big long bar. There was a very large volume bar up here, and I got out up in this area, I believe. And then I kicked myself a little bit, but then I actually got in another coin, which did pretty good. And yeah, we'll talk about that. So, what a minute. Oh, P-Toy. P-Toy is, I think it's called Patientary or something like that. Yeah, Patientory, that's what it is. Hold on, guys. Going to bed?
I'm going to get a drink.
You want a drink? Here you go. That's my son, James. James, you want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
That's James. Say, go Bitcoin.
Go Bitcoin.
Oh, that kid's cute. Whoa, let's go to a 4-hour start. Okay. All right. Yeah, so Patientary had a... When I first saw Patientary, my buddy pointed it out to me. Come on, I don't like those initial ones. That kid's... Yeah, that... You know what? He's 3. 3 is my favorite age. It's official. That kid's my favorite age. What do we do right now? Should we cash out? I'm scared. So, yeah, it's a little scary right now. What do you have? Bitcoin charts. So yeah, Jamoni, let us know what you have and the percentage you are up or down, and I will give you my opinion. What's that? What?
Um, after
All right, go find mommy, okay? I have half a Bitcoin. I bought it $2,000. So you bought Bitcoin at $2,000, is what you're saying, J Money? I wouldn't call it a stupid question, but I think,
I'll find Mama.
okay, go get her. So that's a very good position to have Bitcoin. If you've held it for the past, what, 2-3 months or so, and if you're planning on holding it for longer, I would just hold. Yeah, anytime you have a profit, you have what are called options. So like if you bought up here, your options seem a lot slimmer because if this market takes a turn for the worse, it could take a couple months for it to correct itself. So, you really need to ascertain if you don't mind it going down, even back down here to 3,000, which I don't know if it's going to get to that level, but it is a major level of support. It is the prior support. There is a possibility that it could crack down past that. That is a possibility. So obviously we were at 5,000. It feels really good when you're at a prior level, but at the same time, you were happy over here, weren't you? This felt pretty good on this run up, like back in August 12th when it was at the same level it is today. So in reality, you're doing fine at these levels. You should ask yourself though, how much profit are you willing to hold through? In other words, would you be comfortable if it pulled back down to 3,000? Would that be comfortable, or would you, feel like you wanted to sell at 4,000? Well, you mentioned Bitcoin, so we're talking Bitcoin. It sounded like that was your only holding. If you have more holdings, let us know. But if you have specifically Bitcoin from 2000, I don't think you're in a panic position yet. You can trade the alts. I don't mind that at all, but you have to be very active. If Bitcoin and Ethereum go down, the general market will go down with them. So that's generally what should happen. Now, oh, darn it. I think it's right there. So that being said, if you see some outliers, like if I'm going through my charts here, we see a lot of red. If I see like a pop, like here, Cloak Coin, right? I'm like, okay, let's go check out Cloak. What's it doing? If Cloak Coin is bucking the trend, then yeah, I would probably play a little bit with Cloak Coin if you're going to be active. But you want to trade it in the coins that are bucking the market trend. So if the market trend is down, you want to trade it going up. And you want to look for very strong ones. Trex. I've never heard of Trex at 3,900. What's Trex? Yeah, you're welcome. If that wasn't clear, if I was kind of, I don't know, a little bit too vague for you, let me know. Oh, Bittrex. Bitcoin Bittrex. Yep, downward we go. Good night, Ethan. Give me a kiss. I love you. Whoa. Yeah, so let's watch the carnage. Basic attention token. I think you mentioned that before, and I was not very basic attentioning. Yes, I said it. What do I think of it? I think it's not doing a whole lot. Simon, let me ask you a question. Why are you interested in this coin? So what I would do, Lucid, I'll walk you through that in a minute. What I would do if you're looking to bottom fish, you want to look for high volume. You want to look at the 1 minute chart if you want to bottom fish, and you want to look at the 1 minute. And you want to look for some high volume bars or a high volume bar with like no price pressure downward. So Simon, can you still answer my question? I'm curious why you're interested in this coin. It's not really following Bitcoin. Okay. Okay, not really following Bitcoin. Yeah, but it's still not doing anything. It's still really flat. Trading Bollinger Bands. Um, it's kind of another indicator. So I do sometimes have moving averages. If you guys have, speaking of which, where did my moving averages go? I had them on here. I just had them hidden. The only thing that I do use as an indicator are moving averages. And the reason why is they're just kind of secondary or tertiary indicators if you want to look at them like that. But I don't have any Bollinger Bands on here. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's go look at the minute chart. So I actually, in my Bittrex account, I think it holds it in Tether. I don't think it holds it in actual cash. So I think I'm actually in Tether in terms of Bittrex. If I go to my wallet here, yeah, it mentions Tether. So I just sold to US dollar and it puts it in Tether. I don't know if I can actually sell out in actual cash. I'm not sure on that. But in my other accounts, I do just go US dollar cash. Yeah, so let's go to the 1 minute here. We're talking about trying to catch falling knives. Okay, so here we have a bottom. We've rolled over. We've come down to an extreme. So here we also came down to an extreme. If you notice, we're rolling over here. This may be one if you want to take a small position here. All these extreme downward movements on this large volume. If you notice that they can roll over on not heavy volume, but when they get heavy volume, it tends to start a little bit of a bounce. How long that bounce lasts, however, is a different issue. As we can see, this one was faded almost right away, just 20 minutes later, was tested again and failed again. I mean, all these were failed again, obviously, because these are very recent history. But like this bounce, this one right here, this bar, bring it in. So like if you bought this bar, this looks like a really good bounce. You see here? See this closes in the upper half of the bar on huge volume, but it was faded instantly. It came down instantly, didn't even give it a chance. This one over here, this particular bar, this bar, looks like could be another bottoming bar, which probably did kind of precede some of this movement, and then it's slow graduation upward. But overall, it has rolled over. Yeah. So why do you say be careful with Tether? I've heard a couple stories that Tether is bad. Can you give me some reasons why? Because I know Tether moves a little bit, but from what it looked like, it moved like a percent or two. The next stop for Ethereum. So if you've been following the channel, we've been looking at this since about 4 days now. This head and shoulders pattern on Ethereum. So Ethereum has a head and shoulders pattern, and long story short, for the guys that have already heard this, you can derive a potential target area, which is actually down here in the 185 area. As far as when it's going to get there, I don't know. Pat, Neo analysis. Neo's dead. Rumor that it isn't backed by anything. Yeah, maybe that's the next shoe to drop. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Ethereum bear at this particular moment. Me personally, the chart looks bearish. The price is moving downward, so that's 2 strikes in the bearish direction. Long term, like 10 years, I'm bullish. That's kind of scary, Eric. So he asked about Neo. So Neo broke on the ICO news. Sorry guys, drinking water. My throat's starting to feel sore. Broke down on the hard news. Now we just talked a little bit ago. Oh come on, don't go down on me. We talked a little bit ago about trying to bottom fish. So this looks like a nice bar to bottom fish, and it would have been a nice bar because look at this. You had like a 50% upward movement. Probably more than that. 79% in Neo. Man, if you're ballsy enough to buy right here, I'll give you some money to trade. So, yeah, so this guy traded this to the upside, okay? But then it started coming and chopping around. We formed this ascending trend line here, and then we broke it, and now we're just rolling over. So Neo's dead right now. Yeah, JP Morgan. Yeah, let's talk about them. Go, Jamie Dimon, talk about something you know nothing about. The guy probably couldn't even explain blockchain if you smacked him upside a blockchain book. XRP. I haven't looked at XRP in a minute. Was this 4th largest altcoin? Yeah, so XRP kind of had this really nice breakout from this level. You know, out of nowhere. What was that? 80%? That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's been consolidating ever since. We have a series of lower highs and kind of sideways action here. But it is pointing down at this particular moment in time. There's not a lot of volume. We'll just kind of have to see what happens. I wouldn't be buying it down here. I don't buy anything at the bottom of these low consolidation levels because you never know how long the consolidation is going to last. Do you think the news and updates are not affecting the head and shoulders pattern to bullish? You mean like reversing it to a bullish pattern? Or at least sentiment? You mean lack of news or what? I mean, this thing's tanking. We're sitting here at lows at 275. We can have this conversation all the way down, if you want to, until 185. So it's going down. Nothing is bullish about this. Don't read the news. Don't let news influence your trading. Don't let news, rumors, or innuendo make a decision for you. Look at the charts. If you're going to trade on charts, if you're going to trade price action, trade price action. If you're going to trade news, trade news. I don't know how to trade news. Trade the chart. K Bow Slice. It has been consolidating for a long time already. That is true, but how long is too long? You tell me. Is the reason the market is tanking because of the diamond comment? My guess would be no, but it doesn't matter. And I don't care why it's tanking. I care it's tanking. You know, that's what I care about. Right now we should be in triage mode. We should be in the mode of I'm trying to maintain capital. How are my positions doing? You shouldn't be thinking is diamond tanking my portfolio? That doesn't matter. That literally doesn't matter. I don't care if this thing is tanking because we just found unicorns and unicorns say bitcoins are bad. I don't care. I just care that it's tanking. How much of chart is affected by the news? Chart is only affected by buying and selling. It is a great buying opportunity. It's going to be a better buying opportunity at 200. Would you rather buy at 276 or 200? You know, where is the great buying opportunity? I mean, so think of it this way. In 2020, anytime in 2017 is a good buying opportunity. It depends on your time frame. What's your time frame for your trade? How do you trade? Do you trade, in the day? If you trade in the day, this is pretty bad. If you trade, if you like to swing trade like myself, this is not a good time to trade because for the foreseeable future, we're going down. If you like to buy and hold, then you should be interested here, but you should buy when it's bottomed, not on the way down. I don't believe in buying on the way down. I believe you buy. So here's a good time to buy, and I know this is history, and we can talk about this and debate this. Maybe we can have a good chat about this. Here is a good time to buy. Anywhere here. Anywhere here. Do I ever short? Not anymore. I don't short anymore. There's too much money to be made on the long side, and when you short, moves can be faded extremely quickly. Therefore, it's very hard to hold overnight, and I'm typically not a day trader. I can day trade. I don't want to, though. It's not my style. I want to make, this is the kind of money I want to make. I want to make 67% over a month or so. That's what I want to make. Oh, don't get me started on Herbalife, buddy. Don't get me started on Herbalife. We were trading Herbalife back in the day, making decent money on a crap stock that was... Hey, Snakiest, subscribe, buddy. Check out the videos. Hey, I'll see you next time in the real life chat here. Yeah, we made some decent money with a crap stock called Herbalife, whatever. Yeah, so John says right there, I'm not sure what comment he's referring to, but says your advice is awesome. I agree and learned it through experience. That's the key sentence. I agree and learned it through experience. So you guys can now think about this. I don't know how old you guys are, but when you first started to learn about life, everyone and your mother, and including your mother, gave you some advice. And guess what? The smart people in your life that are successful and that actually try to give you good advice, they were probably right. But how many times did you have to go out there and get your ass kicked before you learn not to talk about someone's mom, or before you learn to not speed through the speed trap, or before you learn to do all these other things that seemed obvious to us who have been through it, but it's new to you? So you can learn by losing your money, or you can learn by keeping an open mind, listening to others, and observing the market and seeing if that fits with your trading style. Those are your two ways to learn. Yeah, don't buy in dips, wait until it's over is what you were referring to. Yeah, that's correct, because you tell me when is the proper dip to buy. Here's a dip, 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 here's a dip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dips, 7 dips. The 7th one was the right one to buy. So you tell me which one is the right one to buy. Anyone that says that they knew this wasn't the right dip to buy is lying through their fucking teeth. Curse word meant to show extreme prejudice. So, I mean, this is just, this, I won't even say it's common sense, because it's not, nothing about trading is common sense. It all has to be learned. Very, very few people jump on a computer and just start making money. Hello, David James. You say hello, I'm going to say hello back. So how do I lose 12 viewers when I'm actually giving out excellent, really good advice and information? How does that happen? Do they just have to leave? I guess that's what it is. Yeah, we were talking about really, really good stuff, and we just lost 11 viewers. I don't understand it sometimes. Am I not? Do I need to jump around? Do I need to get a monkey over here or something to entertain? I guess that's what it is. Any buy, you know, I don't have buy triggers. Kind of along the same notion that I don't quite know where to set them, and yeah, I don't. I really just look at price action. I need to see it. I need to see the volume come in. I need to see it. Bitcoin under 4K. Yep. You know, to be honest with you, maybe it's just that I've seen so many markets, but price levels don't impress me anymore. Oh, John, thanks, buddy. Thank you very much. That's a big compliment. Yeah, so chart reading it's kind of an art, really. It's a technical art, though. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a technical art. There's a couple things you need to understand when you're looking at a chart. Number one, and this is in no particular order, by the way, human psychology. You need to understand human psychology because hold on, guys, my 3-year-old's back. Yes, James. Aw, hug. I love you. I'll sleep with you in a little bit, okay? Why don't you go inside and try to go to sleep? Go to sleep, buddy. I'll be there in a bit. Yeah, John, it's tough, right? It's tough to find time. It's tough to find time. Yeah, so you have to understand the psychology part of the market. Bitcoin 5,000 is a big psychological thing to people because look at this number. Look, it has zeros behind it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like $100 arbitrage between G. Oh, you're probably talking Bitcoin, right? Yeah, Ethereum's pretty much flat. So you have to understand the human psychology part of the market. What I mean by that is you have to understand fear and you have to understand greed. And when you start to understand that, number one, you can understand it within yourself, which is the most important thing. You can't control what the market does, but you can control which button you click. And so therefore you have to understand your your fear and your greed. And you have to understand how that leads into your trading and how that makes you successful or how that makes you fail. Okay? So you have to understand fear and greed from a chart and a herd mentality perspective and also how it affects you personally. So I've kind of learned that if I get like super excited, like if I have a profit and I'm super excited and it's kind of frothy, then I have to sell. Thomas Vu, Neo, don't buy it. I won't buy anything right now. So, but that's my opinion. If you have a different strategy that works for you, you know, we can talk about it further, but I wouldn't be buying anything here. I mean, look, if you want to nibble at it and are prepared to take a loss or be underwater in that position for a while, then yeah, go ahead and buy it if that's the kind of portfolio that you're building. But just understand you could be underwater for a while. Yeah, the no emotion part, man, I struggle with that today. So I put on a freaking killer options trade yesterday. I put in $8,000 in my Roth IRA, and I'm already up $6,400 in 2 days. I mean, it's just I happen to find I have an options strategy that I'm running, and I mean, it is a ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount of money that I'm going to make if this option trade works out, and it's already working out. And I was extraordinarily euphoric yesterday, and pretty euphoric today, but I recognized it. I had to pull myself back in, And I had to say, do you need to sell here, Randy? Because you're getting really freaking frothy. You're getting like really happy. I'm looking at coworkers like I just want to scream out like, yes, because you hit a home run like that. It's very rare that that happens. And when you do it, man, you just want to let everybody, not even let everyone know. I could be in a bathroom and scream out like that. But um, I had to be objective. I'm like, okay, is this too much too fast? Is it is it is it going to tank tomorrow? Is it going to do this or do that? What are these scenarios? What am I comfortable with? Do I want to leave this profit on the table? Do I want to take half of it off? Do I want to leave it running? Um, you know, and I objectively, at least I think it's objectively, decided to keep my position because it was only one day, and yeah, anyway, I ended up holding the position, but I'm still in it. I'll be in it tomorrow. It looks poised to go higher tomorrow. It really jumped in the close, which I'm super excited about. But like this has the potential to double my Roth IRA in a matter of weeks. So, you have to when you take on positions and take on risk, you have to understand the risk and you have to kind of understand those types of things, especially within yourself, more than anything within yourself. You've done it while lecturing in front of students. You know what, Ian? That's actually good. Show them the money and then they will pay attention, then you can teach them something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I mean, you're sitting in a class, depending, I don't know what grade you teach, but people get excited over making money. You get their attention. So anyway, you just have to understand that about yourself, the psychology, the greed, the emotion, the fear, and then the herd psychology as well. Because if you understand Bitcoin 5,000 and what that means to some people, maybe you should have sold and stepped aside. I'm not saying no one anticipated the news, no one anticipated this drop. This chart sure doesn't say it's going to drop. In fact, quite the contrary. Everybody was caught off guard, at least in the US, by this move if you actually slept. So I was caught off guard. For sure. I took a loss up here. I'm not a fortune teller. My crystal ball broke over there if you heard my last video. Do we have any long-term positions? Where would you store your coins on a hardware wallet? I actually don't have any long positions. Nice. I don't have any long-term positions, and I actually, I'm a pretty frequent trader, and I really keep everything in Bittrex and in Bitfinex. Those are where my positions. Those are where I trade from, and I just have to keep the coins in there so I can actively trade. I've been caught a couple times trying to move coins between places in 20, 30 minutes, an hour just kills me. That time frame just drives me nuts. However, that being said, when Ethereum finally does bottom, whenever that is, and we're still tanking, guys. I can't ever get more than 30 people in this damn chat room. Come on, we're actually right now. We've been calling this Head and Shoulders for 4 days now. I've posted it on like 8 videos. I posted on 8 videos. Only 30 people in here to actually witness this. This is pretty fun. When it gets down to whatever level that finally settles at, I will buy Ethereum. I don't know if I'll buy Bitcoin. We'll see what kind of level it gets to. I think there's more upward price movement in Ethereum, but I'll talk about that later. But at that point, I will transfer some out and I will put it in a paper wallet. How many hours do I spend at the computer a week? My eyes don't want to know that number. Number one, I work in an office. I'm the director of operations for a web development company. So, yeah, I spend a lot. I spend probably at least 7 hours at work, and then when I get home, now that I'm trading again, I pretty much stay on the computer a good 4 to 5 hours. So about half my day on the computer. So before Bitcoin, before I was my director of operations, I would work in the field in people's houses installing low voltage systems, and I would probably like 3 hours, 2-3 hours, just when I got home maybe. Some days I wouldn't look at the computer at all, but these days it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm so buying Ethereum when it hits that brown bullseye. So let me say this. I drew that on the chart. So number one, people can kind of understand. I can draw this line, but it doesn't put it in perspective. If I put this round bullseye down here, it gives you an idea. This is not a buying target. This is a potential possible area it could get to. So, what is a paper wallet? So, actually, here you go. Here's a paper wallet. myetherwallet.com. So you can go to myetherwallet.com. This will hold any ERC20 token, I believe. You can create a new wallet, enter your password, and go through this rigmarole, and it will literally print you a wallet that you have on paper and you can put in various places. So it's literally paper. It doesn't live on the web to be hacked. Now, if your house burns down and you don't have it in a fireproof safe, that can happen. If someone steals your paper wallet, it's just like stealing cash from you. So there's risk in everything, right? You have digital risk in the form of these online wallets. You have risk within the exchange wallets because they can be hacked and just sack your account. And there's risk in paper wallets of actual theft or destruction. Arius watching me from down under. How you doing? How was Australia? What's wintertime there now, right? You're in the southern hemisphere. Yeah. Isn't it true you guys don't like kangaroos down there? I've heard you guys like despise kangaroos, that they're everywhere just like rabbits, but like 7 foot tall, kick you in the face with huge feet rabbit. When do you think Bitcoin will stop dropping? Just your 2 cents. I think Bitcoin will stop dropping when Ethereum stops dropping. They kind of run symbiotically. If I were to put a target, I've been thinking about, let's do some measured moves on this. I guess I could do like a Fibonacci or something. I could do Fibonacci. Someone mentioned fibs earlier. I don't get into fibs too much, but if I have a question, or if maybe it gets down here to this 3,000 level, maybe, I don't know. This would kind of coincide with Ethereum. This would kind of also coincide with this prior high. So maybe we do get down to 3,000. I don't know. I'm literally drawing lines on a chart that may or may not mean things. So this is just a okay. There's going to be bounces. There's always going to be bounces. So look at Ethereum here. It bounced every so often, right? It's always going to bounce. But the theme is lower highs and lower lows. That's the theme that you're looking for. Hey guys, I got my son that's asking for some attention, so I will be back hopefully within a few minutes. We will see if someone can maybe kind of take over chat, be a little bit entertaining. I don't want to shut the stream down, but at the same time, I'm going to go spend a little bit of time with my kid. It is bedtime. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. 26, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate that. Yeah, the little guy, he may run back in here, but it's way past his bedtime. But he is a force to be reckoned with. Had to go help him. Guys, it's too cute. Okay. 270. Man. 270. It's going. It's going, guys. How do we shout this from the rooftops that we called this correctly? How do we tell people this? How do we tell people this? We've told them in like 6 videos. I've told some people in person. Hey, I got a question for you guys. I was going to set up my Twitter account today, but Real Crypto's already taken. I don't know how to approach that. Does anyone have any ideas what I should call my Twitter handle? Yeah, everything's breaking every support right now. OMG. Oh, crap. Oh, man. You know what? I got a little caught up in the OMG enthusiasm up here on the Polyonics listing. Ooh, I could try it with a 0. I could give that a go. Yeah. Well, you have to use an underscore with Twitter. So I can't use the dash. I didn't take that into account when I named the channel or actually own the website Real-Crypto. It's a crappy looking website, but it's there. So I have Real-Crypto. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Add a symbol. You mean the underscore? I may try the 0. I may try the 0. But anyway, we talked about this double head and shoulders in Omisego, and then it popped up here on the Polyonics listing. I actually got caught up in the frothiness of this, just because I'm kind of a fan of Omisego. This is me letting my emotions get in the way. So I bought a little bit. I actually covered way down here. I lost too much money. It was like what? What's the percentage on this? It was like 5% or something, but I really shouldn't have lost it. Ooh, Real Crypto Trader. I can try that. That's not bad. Real Crypto Zero guys or Real Crypto Trader? Real Crypto Trader? Okay, try that. Maybe I should change my YouTube channel to Real Crypto Trader. Maybe that's Thomas. Maybe that's a winner. Big bounce in Omisego, or just overall? Oh, a little bounce in Ethereum here. Yeah, we just went from 70 to 74. Let's really dive down. Let's go to the minute. Let's watch this thing happen. Okay, there we go. See, we have some of these large volume bars happening here, which is preceding this bounce. Right here at 270. They bought a bunch right here at 270. Anytime you see a floor put in like this with all this action, that's buying. That's buying. This definitely could be good for a trade if anyone's fairly active. It's late in the evening. I really don't want to mess with it. I think it has more downside long term, so I'm not going to do it. But let's see where we could get. Let's not do that. Let's draw trend lines. So we have this trend line. There's a trend line. So that's a pretty nice bounce. We have this trend line. The more reasonable target. 100 Bitcoin order on Bittrex. Holy crap. May not be enough. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but so let's do this. Oh, sorry, it's not my TD Ameritrade one. Yeah, see, say it gets to here, 2%. Come on, man, 2%. I don't want to put money at risk for 2%. Adam Wood. What's up, buddy? Jumping on the live stream with the market breakdown? Huh? Sorry, I should have got that sooner. That's my bad. Everybody, Adam Wood. Adam Wood, everybody. Adam is my coworker. He's in our trying to sell department. Oh, instantly got faded. Let's go back to a 2-hour chart. Select auto, so this chart looks halfway normal. We work for a company called Gate 6. We are a web development agency. Really? VMware? That's awesome. What do you do there? Do they need a website? Do they want to spend $10 million on a website? I'm sure you guys write fine applications. No, we do web development. We also build web apps. We build mobile apps. Pretty much, if you want to pay us for something, we can code it. That's pretty much what we do. Oh, thank you. New comment on has Bitcoin topped. See what that comment is. Hey, look, I'm live. I should go watch myself. What's the comment? Crash. That's funny. Crash, crash, crash indeed. Yeah, so little market update here. Let's go through some charts, guys. We're chatting, we're having fun. Looks like we're just kind of hanging out, which is fine. All good. We did come down to this prior low over here, so maybe expect a little bit of a bounce here. Maybe we come up and retest this breakout point. Let me mention this right now. If you're interested in shorting, your designer on vSphere. Oh, cool. So if you're interested in shorting, if this gets up towards this neckline, short it. NXS hit all-time high. What is that? So for those of you in the chat room, Adam trolls Twitter. He follows like 50 people, and he's really good at picking up little coins that are making moves. So he is not completely worthless, just mostly. NXS, let's look at that. Bam, up 3%. Yeah, actually moving. Completely fading the move. So this is kind of something I was talking about earlier when I mentioned you want to look for coins that are bucking the trend. Any coin that does its own thing, that's some bullish action. This is a nice chart too, guys. This is pretty orderly. Adam, you may have actually pulled another good one out of your ass. So Adam found Trigger for us. He made like 300% on it. So yeah, we got a pretty good community actually, if you include Adam. Decentralized internet through satellites, that's Nexus? You were given 60 Nexus? That's like 180 bucks. Nothing wrong with that. Can't be mad at 180 bucks. If anybody wants to give me 180 bucks, I'll give you my email address. You can send it through PayPal. Now this is actually quite impressive. Breaking out of the symmetrical triangle pattern. I want to get a better volume. Nice up bar in the volume. Edging higher. This is pretty nice. I could take a decent little position here if this whole market just doesn't Crash. But look at, oh guys, hey, ooh, who can see what's in the middle of this chart right here? Who's going to get the bonus points? Someone's getting bonus points if you can tell me what's in the middle of that chart. That is a textbook pattern. Like, I mean textbook. I should have, Adam, you should have gotten this to me on the 28th. Seriously. I may buy this just because that pattern's so nice. No one knows what kind of chart pattern that is. I want yeses or nos. Yeses and nos. Or just your guess. Ian wins the points. Cup and a handle. And I would give you points, Eric, but that's not a pattern. Hockey stick. No, I'm in the US. We don't do hockey. Ooh, a flag. Half points. Cup with handle. Ian, dead on the head. If you are not familiar with the cup and handle pattern. So these are the requirements for a really good cup with handle, and this is an excellent example. So take notes, or at least refer to this video in the future. Sorry guys, trying to center this so it's really clear. Come on, my computer's freezing. Okay, so cup with handle requires a prior uptrend. So here's our uptrend, a very nice uptrend. This is a pretty orderly coin. Okay, you have a drawdown after the peak, and you want it to be fairly round, and this is a really round cup. I mean, that is a very round cup, and then we handle out. And then we handle. Okay, this is our handle. Okay. Lucid, have a good night. Appreciate it. And if you're shorting, you may wake up in the green. Other than that, I don't know what you have. Have a good one, buddy. So here we have a cup. Here we have our handle. And then we make money. I think I should just teach it like that more often. I think I should teach it like that. So some good things to notice in a cup with handle. I'm just going to remove these because hopefully you can kind of see this. This is also why it's important to gain perspective on a chart. Like, you wouldn't see this cup with handle if you were like zoomed in like this, right? You just wouldn't see it. So I mean, you may see it if you're paying attention, but the more perspective you have, the easier it is to see these patterns. Okay, so we have a large cup and a handle. On the left side of the cup, you're going to be in a downtrend, so you're going to have some downward spikes, and that's okay. Now, ideally, towards the bottom of the cup, you would like to see some volume pops indicating some large buying pressure. Now, we don't get that here. That's the only flaw that I can see in this particular pattern. We don't get those volume spikes. There's a small spike here. There's kind of a spike here. If you notice, it closes towards the middle of the range. That could indicate some buying. And then when we get towards the right side where it starts to ramp up, we have increased volume here, which is really nice increased volume. And then when we start to go sideways, when we start to consolidate and this handle starts to form, the volume flattens out. And if you notice on the right side of this handle before it pops, we have really flat volume. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. And this is not going to look like a good, so here's our handle. And here we have this really flat volume, if you guys can see that. Okay, it's very flat for like a week. Well, actually 2 hours, 2, 4, 6, 8, okay, 10 hours. Man, you really got to be on point with these cryptos, man. You really got to be on point with them. And then the volume starts to accelerate. You start to break this level here, and then you start to break, it just starts to curl higher, and then it just accelerates, and then we get a really nice run up here from $2 to, it almost doubles. That's really nice. And now we have a nice large symmetrical triangle type of a formation. We can draw this a little bit nicer. And yeah, just kind of started, and look at this volume. So this orange bar is average volume. So the volume starts to edge up here as we go higher. So, this could be a decent place to buy a little bit of coin. Now I hate the market right now, but I can't be mad at the price action on this particular one. You zoom out on Ethereum with 1-day candle, please. Looks like a cup and handle. No. Yes. Obviously you haven't really paid attention to my other videos, because I do point that out in I've actually been looking for this handle. I've been looking for a handle for quite some time. The problem is this is now not a handle. So I have several videos where I call for like a cup with handle in Ethereum, and I look for something like this. Like this is a nice handle. This would be a nice handle. This is not a handle. This is down too far, too fast on this first leg down too far, too fast, and now we're following it down with another leg down, which completely negates the cup with handle pattern. So I know I have quite a few videos out there. You don't watch all of them. No, I'll check out Corecoin. I'll check it out. But if you watch my videos, I started out talking about this large cup with a handle pattern, or I started talking about Ethereum in a large cup, and then I started talking about it would be nice if it handled out. I can't say it's going to do that, but it would be really nice. And then it turned into, okay, we're getting this handle, and then it turned into, yeah, this is now a head and shoulders pattern. So my opinion kind of evolved with the chart, and that's generally what you want to do as a trader. You want to evolve your hypothesis with what the market's doing. So to spare you guys some more video watching, what I talk about in another video is if this does come to fruition, we could be in a situation, if you're familiar with the 2008 financial crisis. So think of this as the year 2000. Think of this as the year 2000. We crashed to 2002. We went straight back up into 2007, 2008, and then we crashed right back down until 2009. Okay? And then we're going to go right back up into 2015, and we actually continued dead higher from there, at least in the US stock market. So we could end up being in somewhat of a situation like this, right? So we have some kind of measured moves here happening. And if this does play out, let's think about this timeline. So we could end up with some kind of a low maybe over here. So this is October 4th. And I also want to mention something else. Notice I just mentioned the year 2000, the year 2002, the year 2008. This is an 8-year cycle that we're getting in 3 months. You are literally getting a crash course in trading. Like, this is insane. This is so crazy. This is such a crazy market. I mean, I think I try to be calm. I try to talk calm. I try not to, be frothy. But cryptos are fucking nuts. These things are insane. Ethereum went from $10 to $400 in like 2 months. That's crazy. That is insane. And you are literally going to get 10 years worth of trading experience in crypto markets over the next year. I'm not even joking. So you can take this knowledge and you could go trade any market in the world, any market in the world, and be successful. Just due to the lessons you're going to learn here. And it's going to seem like slow motion to you. It's going to be like slow motion. Anyway, so we have a potential multi-month cycle here. So this is June 12th to July 16th. That's June 12th? That's a month? Crazy. That's a month. And then all the way up until September 1st. So that's a month and a half. Then maybe we get this back down into another month. And then we get up another month and a half. And then we're into all-time highs. So when we get down to this area, if we get down to this area, man, I'll be buying the Ethereum. I'll be buying the Bitcoin, paper walleting that shit. And I will be holding it for the long term. So that being said, Bitcoin has quite a different chart pattern, right? That being said, let's look at Bitcoin long term. Now, Bitcoin has a longer history. Now, I'd like to point something out. I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. I haven't harped on it, but I have mentioned it quite a few times. So we had a move back down here in 2013. So we went from, was this like $200, $250, and then we went all the way up to basically 1150. Just call it 1200 for easy math. That's like a 500%, 400% increase right there. Okay, and notice this happened within a large consolidation, a large flat downward area here, and then it boom parabolic straight up, and then we did it again. We're in the middle of that cycle right now. Is this the end of that cycle? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it is, but it's possible. That's a good hypothesis, Eric. Could it be because it's a 24-hour cycle instead of an 8-hour cycle? Interesting. I haven't thought of it in those terms before. Yeah, it could be. It could be. That's interesting. That's a very interesting hypothesis. It could be. It's hard to say though. I don't know. I just think it's the fact that there's so many market participants rushing in, and it's so new, and there's just like no one knows what to do. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like a frat house. Like just no one knows what to do. But yeah, so if we look at this, we went from 1100 to 5000, about a 400, 500% move. Now, I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. I expected this to pass 5,000 and go to 6,000 because this thing went barely past the 1,000 level into the 1,100 level. So I was expecting this to pass 5,000 and go to like 6,000 or 5,500 was my initial thought. That being said, so we do have these nice shakeouts. Let's look at this. This was kind of a nice shakeout, and then it continued higher. We could get some action like that where it pops down here and goes directly back up. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, we have to be ready for those types of scenarios. Metal. Adam's looking at metal. Looks good. That's a buy. Ooh, that is not a buy. I'm sorry. It looks like it's bouncing. Someone just said Ethereum's bouncing into the 280 level. Wow, coming back into the 280 level. So we're going to get these bounces. These are part of normal market action. We're going to get these bounces. And I think I was mentioning to someone earlier, I was chatting about it earlier. If we get up here towards this level, if you do short, this would be a decent shorting point. Okay, because this neckline, this is your line in the sand. So we could come up here and test this neckline that is fully healthy, that is fully normal. There's nothing bullish about that. In fact, I think I mentioned a little bit, you guys could even try to take a... Oh, God, that looks bad. Hey, there you go. I think I even mentioned we were talking about this pull-up here. I'm like, hey, you could go ahead and trade this. Let's draw those trend lines again, guys. Remember these trend lines? Remember these trend lines? My computer's getting laggy. You know, we could trade these trend lines here. Trade for a bounce into them. But I would only trade it for a bounce. If this is coming to pass, then it's coming to pass, and it's not going to be good. So yeah, we were talking about it down here for a possible move up here. I think it was like 3% or something. Yeah, 2 to 3%. So if you want 2 to 3%, it was on the table here. We did pull back, and we ended up going higher. Let's see what the volume is doing. So we have large volume blocks on this downward move here. Okay, this is how you use some volume analysis, okay? I'll look at that in a second, Eve. Eves? Sorry, buddy. Try not to be disrespectful to your name. But I am an American. I don't know how to talk most other languages, unfortunately. But yeah, so This is some kind of volume analysis 101. I really like to, especially in the crypto coins, they're so frothy, they move so fast, they do so many things. You have to know where the volume's coming in. So what we're seeing here is an increase in volume on this downward movement, and then this big pop up on lower volume was instantly faded, and then volume started to subside, living at the lows, which preceded this drop down in higher volume, this big volume block. So think about it. If somebody wanted to sell, let's just call this 10,000 ether. If somebody wanted to sell 10,000 ether, do you think that they'd be better off selling it in one massive block or in blocks of like 500? And that's what you see here, blocks of 500 just being sold one after the other, just kind of trying not to lose too much. Then they stop selling their ether and then they let it bounce up. Someone buys it because it's a round number, because they're weird, and then we're rising again. We have one nice volume bar, but the rest of the green here is pretty negligible. These two green bars are crap. 2 bars here, and then we go down in about the same type of volume, one large bar, which is actually an accumulation bar. Then we start floating higher. This volume's halfway decent. This is halfway decent volume on this particular uptrend. This isn't too bad. And now we're fading it in similar volume. So, you just kind of have to look at what the price action is telling you. How's the volume being distributed? Is it buying volume? Is it selling volume? Core coin. Sorry, Simon, you mentioned that. Core coin. Let's check that out. What? I wouldn't trade that. Gappy. No. What about it? It's aiming straight down. Yeah, there's really not much about this coin I like. You get a big volume pop and then it comes off, fades the entire move. Big volume pop, fades the entire move. Big volume pop, fades the entire move. What's the deal here? And then it consolidates and then breaks down. This is not bullish action. Are coins falling further, Ashish? Yes, they are. Yeah, the whole picture. Okay, yeah, you're right. I did kind of have a minute picture. So this kind of the same thing. It's really wide. Any wide coin like this, like if you're comfortable with these big whipsaws, if you can hold through this crap, I can't do that. It's a big emotional roller coaster for me. I would go insane. So I like the really tight action, which is the reason why I just went all in on OK Cash. I mean, look at this. Very nice, solid sideways action. Good upward movement. Nice sideways action. You don't have the huge pops. We're not getting these massive swings, okay? You get swings at extremes, and that's normal. But other than that, we have nice orderly consolidations indicating healthy price action. And then, you just make a crap ton of money. Versus core coin, pretty chaotic. I mean, even on the run up, it's pretty chaotic. You can't forecast this move. There's no way. There's no way. And then here it drops and then just rockets right back up. It's really hard to forecast that. I would just not be involved in this coin. If you're comfortable holding through this, then you should get in a coin like a Lisk. It just has like a really nice base in it. And look at Lisk, man. Look at this thing holding like a champ. This is kind of bucking the trend that I was talking about. So we're talking about bucking trends earlier, and like Adam was talking about whatever coin he brought up. But then we look at Lisk, really bucking the trend. You see this Ethereum down. Look, these guys came down to this lower descending trend line, and maybe we can redraw this. We have some more bars. Maybe we do something like this. Maybe that's kind of a healthy. Maybe it's more like this. It's hard to say. You can redraw these as time goes on. I mean, think about it. First, you're drawing this line. Oh, come on, JavaScript. Then you're drawing this line. Now we're drawing this line. And now we're drawing this line. So, your lines can evolve. This still seems fairly valid to me, though. It was tested and failed. This kind of seems fairly valid. But, man, Liska's a strong-ass coin. Look at this thing. Very beautiful. So going back, I'm not a big fan of this action. I don't like this big up, down type of thing. I really like more of like an Omisego pattern, but you have to give it respect when it does something like this. And during this recent turmoil, it's really been holding strong up here. Lack of volume, showing no selling action. We get a little bit of volume pop here. Maybe I'll buy some Lisk and just take a shot. I don't know. That looks really nice. But yeah, everything else looks like crap. Thank you, Ashish. Appreciate it. Further insights on XRP. We looked at it earlier. Really wasn't doing a whole lot. It's sitting at the lows of this larger consolidation that it's in. I don't like to buy things sitting at lows because you never know when it's over. You never know when the low's done. This looked like a good low. This looked like a good low. This looks like a good low. This looks like a good low. So if you're trading them for bounces, maybe that's something you can try to look for. I try to trade for longer moves, so I would not be buying down here. Guys, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. But on the other hand, very unpredictable. Fong, what do you mean by that? You mean the market or me or my explanations? What? Total market cap. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, Yves, let me check that out. Adam, shut up. All right, guys, I know Adam from work. He's my buddy. I'm messing with him. Are we talking about hitting it 4 times? The movement is exactly like stocks, but it's wildly exaggerated. It's very much like stocks, but it's wildly exaggerated. That's the thing. Hit the low 4 times. You mean this low? Do you mean this low right here? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that what you're referring to, Yves? Eves? Is it Eves or it's Eves, right? I don't want to butcher your name 15 times. 1 month. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Eves. Good. Thank you. I try to be respectful. I'm an American. That's very hard, but I try. Eve. Okay. Thank you. So in terms of this this hitting the same level 4 times or so, are you referring to it's possibly a low or it's going to break? How much longer will I be lecturing? I have no idea. I kind of just talk and ramble until I need to go to bed. You know, I don't schedule these guys. I'm a little, I'm off the cuff. I don't even edit my videos. I kind of just I talk. I see what's on there. And I just kind of put it out there. So I don't really have a defined time. You know, if I start to ramble and can't think coherently, then I usually bow out. And that does happen sometimes. As resistance. So it is resistance. This particular level is resistance. However, one thing about resistance, the more times it's tested, the more likely it is to break. Okay, that's the thing about resistance. Yeah, support. Gotcha. Yeah, support resistance. You know, we know what we're talking about. Yeah, support props it up, resistance makes it go down. So, but yeah, so the more times it's tested, and we can actually use Ethereum as a great example of that, right? Because we just tested that neckline. I don't know how many times. How many times did we test that neckline? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times before it finally broke. We tested that neckline 6 times. And each time you see that lower high happening, then it's indicating there's lack of upward pressure. Milos just got here. What are your thoughts? Sell everything, take a vacation, wait for charts to set back up, and that's about it. Adam was asking about which one again? EDG. Edgeless. Not super interesting. It does have a series. It is, and it does move up. Has some nice green pops here. That's not my favorite bar in the world, but not too shabby. Yeah, I'm not in on it. I'd rather buy Lisk. Lisk has a much nicer pattern than this does. So yeah, if you guys want to look through some charts, we can let's just go top down. Go top down. And if you guys ask me about a coin, if you don't ask me something very specific while I'm doing this, I'm just going to give you a quick answer. All right, Bitcoin. So I guess Bitcoin could have a head and shoulders pattern on it. I guess if you consider this a shoulder, and this the head, you could consider this a possible head with shoulders pattern. It's not ideal, but it's there. Typically, these are about at the same time frame away from the head, but hey, if it works, right? In that case, there's your neckline. Now let's derive a target. I'm assuming this will be fairly close. So let's derive a target. You know, maybe this is a head and shoulders. Maybe our neck. Maybe we get down to the just under 3,000 mark on Bitcoin. So if this pattern comes to full, you know, if it goes the full breadth of what it could do, So guys, these are just chart patterns I'm doing. I'm drawing lines that the chart pattern says. This isn't something I made up. I'm not forecasting it to get all the way down here, although it's with this pattern, it's in the realm of possibility. Yeah, I'll get to Bitcoin Cash in a second. We're just going to go down here. I have them in market cap order until we get to the small coins. So Ethereum is next. We already know what's going on with Ethereum. We've talked about it in length. If you guys have seen this W pattern that I just kind of drew earlier, if you're new and want me to explain that, let me know. But we've been going over Ethereum. Bitcoin Cash really just failed here. I had this trend line here, and it clobbered that trend line. And now we're sitting down here at lows. So not much happening here in Bitcoin Cash. Actually looks like a ninja star pattern. So I actually made up my own chart pattern, if you guys want to know this. This is called the ninja star pattern. It's where it goes sideways down, kind of goes up and comes right back down, and then kind of goes up or sideways. This is my ninja star pattern. It's bearish. It's bearish. First time I've seen it in cryptos, though. I've seen it in stocks a few times. First time in cryptos. Ripple. We talked about Ripple sitting low in this consolidation level. Just kind of not doing much, selling off with the rest of the market. See if we get some more legs down. Litecoin. Oh, Litecoin. We had someone earlier that had a bunch of money in Litecoin up from the 80s. I feel so sorry for them. Wish they would have found the channel a little bit earlier. We could have maybe saved them some pain. Second, Eric on Golem analysis. So I'll get to it. It's actually in my list of charts here. You're welcome, Silver. Yeah, I think I've seen you before here. You've watched a few times, haven't you? Yeah, don't be afraid to get in the chat here, buddy. Yeah, we'll get to Golem. Doesn't look good though. Doesn't look good. Yeah, so Litecoin has a nice bounce. Darn it. Golem has a nice bounce here. Golem, Litecoin. Nice bounce there. Volume's pretty low. In a 2-hour chart, we're halfway through, so we could see some decent volume. But kind of the same thing is going to go for Litecoin, is going to go for Bitcoin and Ethereum. If we get back up towards the level where it broke down, that's going to become resistance now. This was support. Support that in turn, when it's broken, turns into resistance. So this will now be resistance, and it should fade the move up into here. If you are shorting, you could short up here. So it's going to rebound, but I'm not sure for how long. Dash. Let's look at Dash. Dash, not doing a whole lot. Looks like we have a rising trend line here. Looks like we just broke through it. Even if you take this, looks like we broke through it. So that looks like there's a little more downward movement in there. Nothing too crazy. But I wouldn't be buying it. IOTA. Oh, IOTA. Adam knows I love IOTA, but just it keeps hurting me. IOTA just keeps hurting me, so I've got to leave it. Got to leave it. Now we've remember I talked about support. Every time you hit a support level, the more times you hit it, the more likely it is to break. Well, we've got support here at about $50 in IOTA, or 50 cents, and I have a distinct feeling that at some point this is going to break. Now we do have a declining trend line here, so maybe sometime in here we break. I don't know. I really hope not. Eric, she's just so good. I just can't leave her alone. So good. All right, Nem. Why? Why in your right mind would you buy that chart? I know Nem had a massive move from like months and months ago, And it was a big, massive move. I did analysis on it. It was huge, but now it's a different story. It's been chopping around. It's pointing lower. No, don't hate yourself. In general, can you occasionally buy on dips and sell on spikes for profit? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. There's strategies solely built around that. There's a million ways to trade these markets. They're all profitable as long as you have an edge on the market and you effectively trade your strategy. Oh, later, Adam. Have a good day. How come you never charge your computer? Your computer's always dead. You leave your charger at work? Probably. I don't think I have a leftover charger. I'll look. So yeah, you can buy on dips and sell on spikes. That is a thing. You just have to work at it and kind of see. You have to notice what you're looking for during the spikes. If you're looking for a volume signature, if you're looking for a measured move down, if you're looking for a Fibonacci retracement, whatever the case may be, you just have to have a system for it. But I do not. Not now, not in this kind of a market. If we're in an uptrend and it pops down, yeah, I probably would take something for a trade. But generally, me personally, I like to hold for large swings. I don't like to take small pops unless it looks very promising percentage-wise. Yeah, NIM has a promising year ahead of it. Wait for lows. I would like to buy strength out of lows, like something like this. Like obviously we came down here, had a low, and then we kind of came out higher. I would buy on strength, especially in a extreme downtrend. You don't buy on weakness in a downtrend. You buy on strength. You're investing in, looks like drumbeat marketing management. I missed the beginning of this. I live in Dubai and woke up to a crash. Any idea what caused this? So, I mean, I may have a theory or two about what caused it, but in reality, drumbeat doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter why this happened. My synopsis as to why this happened. Let's go back and look at Ripple. My synopsis why this happened is that it has to do with the China ban on exchanges. One exchange actually closed today due to it. I'm trying to get to it on the news here. Right here, Bitcoin over-the-counter service suspends trading China, citing China pressure. So this is the first chink in the armor for China and their cryptocurrency regulation in terms of, you know, chink in the armor for the market. And, you know, looks like some people are just taking money off the table here, taking some risk off, and with that we're selling off. So we'll see what happens, but so far it doesn't look too good. The Jamie Dimon thing, apparently, I don't know who would sell because Jamie Dimon said anything. The guy doesn't know crap about cryptocurrencies, doesn't know anything. So, could be that. It's hard to say, but either way, it's selling off. It doesn't really matter why. Do I trade? Yeah, I trade. Oh yeah, I trade. Yeah, I trade. Yeah, I love trading. I don't just sit here and look at charts and not try to make money off it, so I do trade. I'm not buying anything. I will be buying when the selling has subsided, and I'll be buying big. Ian, good night, buddy. If you haven't left already, just seeing your comment there. Thank you again. Joel Chan, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's okay. 2 hours in, you know, we're about a halfway in. Anti-crypto, so much anti-crypto news in a few days. You're referring to like the China ICO stuff and the China bans. That's probably what's driving this market downward. That's my hypothesis, but all I know is it's going down. So, do I have charts trend line here? Yeah, there we go. Let's get rid of those. Must be doing good when you get rich. Don't forget me. Ha 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 ha. I'm doing okay. I'm not doing bad. I'm not rich. I'm not a rich guy. I'm a guy that does charts really, really well. But actually trading of them has been my downfall. I get a little too emotional sometimes. I have a tendency to overtrade and not follow my own advice. People that follow my advice generally do pretty good if you just do what I say. Don't do what I do, do what I say. Those that can't teach, that's kind of the moniker, and I tend to, apparently I'm living that. But no, I'm doing better. My stock portfolio, I talked earlier, I had a really good trade yesterday and today. That's doing excellent. And I think I finally found a stock strategy that suits my personality and my trading style, and it's showing in the results. Oh, what did you miss? Well, we solved cryptocurrencies. That's what you missed. So sorry about that. We solved them. We know the plan. We know exactly what's going to happen. We know exactly when to buy. We know exactly when to sell for the foreseeable future. So sorry about that. Hey, you got to be here. You got to be here. So yeah, we are getting a nice bounce in Ethereum here. If you notice, the volume, although we're halfway through, 54 minutes left in a 2-hour bar, so we'll get some decent volume on this bounce. But you can look at these bounces and see how they had some strength and yet were faded. So we can kind of guess what's going to happen here. As long as we're beneath this neckline, I would not really take any risk on. And if you were to cross this neckline, it would have to be on massive volume, and I would probably end up getting up here towards 320, 330. If this thing were to reverse, I would probably be a skeptic. Actually, number one, it would happen overnight while I was asleep. That's what would actually happen, and I have to figure it out from there. Short-term people are done. So you're saying that they've taken out the stop losses, and now they're just kind of, it's going to go higher. So usually what happens when they take out, so this isn't a scenario where taking out stop losses is a good thing. We've broken this neckline. I mean, I guess in theory we could pop up, but let's drill down. We have, so definitely some stop losses were taken out. That's just going to happen anytime you have a sell-off. But on the 15-minute chart, let's just look at this. Like, it looks like a big spike up when you look at it on the 2-hour, right? Because it's just one bar. But when you look at it here and you see this large rollover, this is a pretty weak bounce. Look at the volume on the bounce. It's not a very strong bounce. I mean, it's pretty weak. So I would probably anticipate, like I said, you can anticipate some kind of test of this neckline, and then we're going to proceed down further, most likely. I don't think it's good for a new buy. That's not my opinion. My opinion is that is not good for new buy. My opinion is that we're headed much lower. I mean, we broke through the neckline. We're now living beneath the neckline. So let's go back here into the 15-minute. Let's look at something. Here, let's do this. Let's see if we can go back down towards the uptrend. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's just do a little bit of this. Sorry guys, I'm trying to, I guess, give a little bit of a lesson here. Okay. So this is a spike low. Okay, this is the spike low. This is the left shoulder. We have the right shoulder. So let me go to this Ethereum. And that's going to show like crap too. Okay. So this is the left shoulder. We're below 400. We're on the 15-minute chart. It's kind of like what we're looking at now, but we don't really have a trying to find a good reference point that kind of. Oh, where am I? What's going on here? Sorry guys, I have a point I want to make, and I'm just trying to find a good spot that correlates, even if my doesn't prove my point. I'd move to US dollar because everything's going to go down. The question was, would I go to US dollar or would I go to altcoins? I'd go to US dollar because Bitcoin and Ethereum will take the altcoins down with them. Yeah, right, Justin? I broke my crystal ball. Did you see that? That wasn't too cheesy, was it? I just felt like doing something fun. I felt like it was cheesy. Sorry if it was cheesy. Let's try to have some fun. Okay, so here we have a little level where it broke down. Okay, and then we have, this is the left shoulder again on the larger head and shoulders. So we break down kind of like we did here. Okay, see this large volume green bar? That's the spike low you want to see. That's what you want to see prior to an uptrend. Okay, now I just picked a random place that I thought I would see something good, and lo and behold, we do see something good. Now it doesn't always work out that way. I could pick another spot and it could be wrong. But so here we have these big bars to the downside with big volume behind them. And then we see an even larger green volume bar. Just in one bar, just a ton of volume stopping this thing out, right? Just eating up all of this supply. There's a lot of panic selling happening here because we're going beneath, this low, kind of testing this area over here. A lot of panic selling, and then boom, they just raise it up, and then we test it again. So we come down in lower volume. See, the sell-off now is in very low volume. And so this is indicative of a good place to buy. Somewhere in here would be a good place to buy. This selling on this side is not good. You want to sell on this side. You want to see this bottoming bar. You never want to be the first one in. You're never, ever, ever going to catch the bottom. You will never catch the bottom. Okay? The only way that you're going to catch the bottom is if you have $5 million and you're making this bottom. Wait for some time, Justin. Right now, in my opinion, if I were to put new money to work, it wouldn't be right now. So, again, just my 2 cents. But if you notice, we're not seeing those big spikes. What is that? We're not seeing the big volume spike here. We're seeing, now granted, this thing continues to run up and we have some nice large volume and get some pops. Yeah, I mean, we could float up from any level, don't get me wrong. But as far as calling a bottom, I don't know if I'd call it here. I mean, there's enough volume here, kind of like over here, but notice it's less. There's enough volume where it could like stop the downward movement for now, and maybe we chop underneath this trend line. Yeah, because this is the wrong trend line. But there is a trend line here, and I drew it out the other day. I haven't really mentioned it in any videos. That's not it. Right there. See that trend line? We could live under this trend line. Maybe we even pop back up above the neckline. There is some white area here, but you know what I'm saying. We could chop around for a while. We could just chop around for a while. It's hard to say exactly what's going to happen, but as we see, we have every move gets faded to the downside, and this is not a very good price action. Not very good price action. And we actually even talked about a possible trade right here. So there's a bit of a trend line. It's kind of a stretch though, because you only have 2 points here and here. So this is a more viable trend line. We could easily bounce up into this trend line with ease. And then this trend line would kind of be the next level of resistance area. Would almost probably coincide with a move up to here. And if you notice, this kind of could coincide in almost peak out exactly before it could possibly fail again. Omisego, is it a good buy long term? I don't think it is here. I don't think much is here. Let's look at Omisego. Omisego. So I have an emotional attachment to Omisego. I will start by saying that. That being said, the stock just had a triple top, one top, two top, three top. It was sold into each time, and it's going to need some time to work that off. It's going to need some time to consolidate. I think everyone loves Omisego now, and everyone knows about Omisego. And I feel that that much attention is going to make it trade badly going forward. We kind of see that in this large choppy action here. We see a double head and shoulders here. We see a triple top with a sell-off. I mean, there's just all kinds of weird chart pattern things happening here that kind of negate any goodness that I think you could see here. Should you sell Lisk or Omisego? I wouldn't. Actually, Lisk at this moment in time is one of my favorite coins. And I'll tell you why. Because this market's getting all weird and weird things are happening, but Lisk is sitting up here in this base towards the high. If you look at Lisk Bitcoin, it's actually kind of popping up because Bitcoin's falling. Lisk is holding strong, therefore Lisk is rising comparatively to Bitcoin. So when you put Lisk against Bitcoin, it's going to break out. Lisk against the dollar, however, a bit of a different tale, although we're still sitting really strong in this upward consolidation. Notice there's no volume, really lack of volume up here, and it's just kind of hanging out. All in on Lisk holding strong. It's, you know what, it looks to be a bit of a safe haven right now. So I don't know if it's a safe haven play, but there sure isn't a lot of selling in it. Udom. You're welcome, Peter. I'm gonna go here in a bit, guys. My voice is giving out of me. I think I'm coming down with something, so I'm gonna leave here in about five minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so. Get your questions in. Subscribe if you haven't. All that good stuff. Yeah, PLS. You know, I'm cash. I've been cash for a while. I sold everything this morning. I think it was this morning, this afternoon, something like that. Yeah, I'm all cash. You know, Qtum, not doing a whole lot. Qtum just kind of hanging out, not doing much, not a fan. I'll do a couple more. Oh yeah, we never got down to GNT, did we? Sorry. The GNT last time I saw was pointing straight down. I don't invest in things going down. What do you guys think? Do you want to invest in things going down? Or do you want to invest in things going up? Ripple is in a larger consolidation. It's sitting in the low level of that consolidation. I wouldn't call it, I guess it could be holding strong, but it doesn't have a lot of profit to sell into. Civic. Don't think I have Civic in here anymore. So overall, it's fairly interesting. You have this low level that broke up to the upside. Looks like it went from 20 to 70, so that's good. It's been a very long consolidation. I guess if you want to take a little, maybe a little flyer on Civic here. I mean a little one. I wouldn't put more than 20% of my account. I mean, depending on your account sizing, I'm going to do a video. Maybe I'll do an educational series on position sizing. But yeah, I wouldn't take a huge position in really anything at this point in time, just due to the general market weakness. But if you're going to take a risk, take small risks. So holding your Amisago, wish I sold it yesterday. Think I'll hold long term now. Yeah, long term is not bad in Omisago. I mean, that's a very, very good coin. If you're okay with that, if you're not going to have an issue with that, like I have to be honest with myself. I'm not holding anything for long term if I didn't get in at like rock bottom prices. There's no way I'm going to hold for long term, personally. Holding is usually a good strategy. If you believe in the technology, I would invest in that coin going down, long term perspective. Yeah, so if long-term perspective is your strategy, I would nibble on these downward movements. And then when you finally see a bottom, you can get in heavier. But I would nibble. You know, Peter, any coin can go up. I don't see that in this chart, however. What I do see is an upward trend line here, which is bearish. Okay, we saw pretty much the exact same thing in Neo. I'm not saying Civic's going to do the same thing. But if we look at Neo, and even I think IOTA has a similar pattern right now, and not Litecoin. Look at Neo. See this rising trend line on Neo? Anytime you have a rising trend line with price pressure pointing downward, it's putting pressure on that trend line, and it's going to break. So Neo broke. You know, and you can say that the inverse is true, right? Like there's price pressure being put on this line to break to the upside if it's curling up into it, like in a perpendicular fashion. It's like right here, it's curling up into it. It's putting pressure to break this trend line. That just didn't happen. But these downward moves are happening. So John asked me if I do any fundamental or any research into the coins before I trade them. I do like to know what I'm trading in. I like to trade in high quality coins. At the same time, if the chart action is just really bullish, then I don't really care, because in the end, if I want to know what Neo does, um, you know, Neo coin. If I want to know what Neo does, if I'm interested in trading Neo, if they look really good, right? If Neo looks excellent, tell me which part of this website tells me to buy. If you're talking about longer term holding, then yes, most definitely you need to know what you're invested in. You definitely need to have an understanding. But just from a strictly price perspective, from a strictly trading perspective, and that could be for a move like this, you know, that could be for anything, any kind of move. You definitely just want to look at charts. So I'm pretty knowledgeable in cryptos, at least in the top cryptos. I haven't gone too in depth. I spent a lot of time doing these videos, but like I know what Ethereum does. I know what Ripple does. I know Litecoin. I know Dash. I know IOTA. I don't know NEM as well as I should. I know Monero. I know Ethereum Classic. I know what Omisago does. I need to know Neo more. I know what Lisk does. I know what Stratos does. I know what Waves. So, like, I'm familiar with what these coins do in a general sense, but that's just a checkbox. If you want to go through a trading plan, you're going to say, is a good coin? Check. I mean, that's pretty much going to be your fundamental analysis from a trading perspective. Dude, XRP has an awesome use case. I actually did a video, I think, on they're on a Federal Reserve exploratory committee. They're actually like one of the people on the board. They're not just like giving advice, they're actually on the board. And the Federal Reserve is very interested in blockchain technology. And it could be a possibility that Ripple is one of the beneficiaries of that. Involved with cloud services. What do you mean, Eric? But yeah, John, in terms of investing in Ripple, like actually longer term investing. So right now they actually have a lawsuit against them for like it's worth $1 billion. They partnered with a vendor that I don't know what they do exactly, but they ended up. Yes, I am familiar with AWS Cloud and Azure. Yeah, I work in a web development firm. Pretty familiar with tech. Um, it's called R3 or something like that. So Ripple and R3 are countersuing each other for various things. But if R3 wins the suit, they bought an option to purchase like 53 million Ripple at some ridiculously low price, and it would be worth like $1 billion, $1.5 billion. When Ripple's at 30 cents, is worth $1.5 billion. So now it's worth about $1 billion. And if R3 wins that lawsuit, I don't know if that's going to put excess supply into the market with Ripple or exactly how that's going to affect it. But, it's kind of, anyway, it's something recent. And this is something that's unknown with cryptos. When you think about it, Ripple is a transactional token. It performs transactions on a network. So unlike stocks, like you really can't go and take a stock and use it to do something on Microsoft. If you take a Microsoft stock, you can't go ahead and go into Microsoft and perform a function. You have to pay them US dollars. You can sell your stock for dollars, but there's a transaction that has to happen there before you can use the network. With XRP, with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, you literally use the currency you're trading for the utility of the network. So we have yet to see how that dynamic is going to play out. Is the inflation in the cryptocurrency pricing via the markets going to make the technology like Ethereum less attractive to users because, oh, we don't know year to year what our cost is going to be to use the Ethereum network? I think that is a underrepresented risk with cryptocurrencies. In the same token with Ripple, if there's excess supply put on the market, is that going to put downward pressure on the price, or is it not going to matter? I mean, there's some use cases that need to be worked out, and there's some counterparty risk that needs to be taken into account as well. Yeah, so actually storage, Eric, I actually do have storage running, or I had it running on my computer that died. I was running a storage node. Filecoin, I don't think they have ICO'd yet, or they just did. Sia, I'm not familiar with them, though I've heard of them. No, no, John, it's the other way around. It's worth $1 billion. It's 43 million at 8 cents, and then if you extrapolate that 8 cents up to 20 cents, it's worth $1 billion. That's 0.008. That's not even 8 cents. That's 0.008. Yeah, Eric, I just read the same article you may have. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But as far as how it affects the tokens, that's really all we care about. I'm not getting money from that lawsuit, are you? So yeah, so looks like in this 2-hour chart, I guess volume's not tracking too bad. It's decelerating though. If you notice, I've been talking pretty much nonstop for 2.5 hours, but since I've been talking about this, we've really flattened out. If you notice that, we haven't continued the upward momentum. So when you see these big jumps, you kind of have to be a little wary when you don't see the large volume signature of a bottom. Yep, they are suing each other. Yeah, I think Ripple's suing them for breach of contract and for lawyers' fees. They're not getting rich off of it, but that shouldn't affect the coin whatsoever. Oh, TRX, I have not. I heard of it. Yeah, I can't get it on TradingView, so I can't pull it up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that Chinese thing is going to work. Yeah, Walton coin. You know, it's been mentioned. My buddy Adam was the first one that was one of the first ones he. No, WT what? WCT? Oh, I can't pull that up. That sucks. No, it's like WTC. I usually look it up on CoinMarketCap. Yeah, there you go. Walton coin. I feel like Walton coin is kind of a pump coin. I think they just kind of, I don't know. Everyone says good things about it, but like if I go to their website, I'm not overly impressed. No, Eric, it's fine. Like it's just not very impressive to me. Like all this Chinese stuff, RFID. Um, Everyone says it's kind of like IOTA in a way, like the Chinese IOTA is what they call it, but I don't know. Okay, I will say this though. After all that kind of after all that kind of talk from me, I will say this. So right now, these coins are running on like news, hopes, and dreams. Um, Trig Metro, yes, Metroplex remodeling. Yes, we will look at Trig. We haven't looked at Trig, but yeah, Trig. We've been talking about Trig a little bit here. And just kick on. Anyway, yeah. So here's one thing to think about. I know I get off a little bit on technology and how things are kind of it's kind of a pump coin, those types of things, but this is a $44 million market cap coin. This thing could 10 bag in no time if there was any kind of adoption on this network. This thing could 10 bag the $440 million market cap on you in a matter of weeks. Let's look at Trig. I like looking at Trig. I had a nice position in Trig, made a nice gain in Trig. Had a nice little loss in Trig. All at the same time. This wasn't my best traded coin ever, but I did make a little bit of money on it. Yeah, Trig's holding up really nicely. Fong, good night. Thank you for chatting. It's been fun, buddy. Come back. Yeah, did you subscribe yet? Invited to BRICS invitation. What's BRICS? Link for the graph. What graph? Fong, I'm not sure what graph you're referring to. Pretty much everything's on my channel in terms of videos. I don't have like a trading view. Oh yes, yeah, it's right here in the URL, buddy. Oh, BRICS, British. Oh yeah. Yeah, BRICS. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like Brazil. That's what it is. It's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and what's the S? I know it's not Sweden. Good night, Fong. You too. Good luck. What's the S? Oh, it's just brick. There's no S. There's no S. You're saying Trig got invited to the bricks? Oh, no, you're saying that Walton got invited to the bricks. No, the S is a plural. The S is plural. It's brick. They just say bricks because it's multiple countries. No, Lemur's not South Africa. They're not talking about sharks. Oh my goodness, Oh, it's Vcash. Crypto money. I did see that Trig was going to burn 70 million coins in 2 days. You know what? It sounds good, but it almost sounds too good to be true. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you burn 70% of your supply? Maybe I just haven't read up on it enough. Maybe I should take a 20% position just in case this thing. Just think about it. This thing should triple if that happens. So that's kind of upset with Trig actually, because I got in somewhere, I forget where, but and then it popped up here, and then by the time I woke up, it was all the way back down here. I didn't even get a chance to sell. I was pissed. Nice crypto money. What was your initial investment? There you go. Did you get into OKCoin right after that? Still holding. Yeah, you're welcome, David. Adam's a pretty cool guy, and he has a lot of he has a lot of bandwidth, so he just looks at all these coins. What do you mean we'll change to gaming? Trig? Yeah. Yeah, actually Adam sits like 3 offices down from me. Oh, OKCoin will focus on gaming, yeah. You know, they have like one of the best charts in crypto. Just from a beautiful looking chart perspective. This is just a gorgeous like textbook. You know, there's a few that have a very nice chart pattern, and OKCash is one of the best. There you go, Joel. It's going to test that neckline. It's going to break down. That's what they do. Let's check it out. And then I'm probably going to go, guys. My throat's starting to get the best of me here. I may end up calling in sick to work tomorrow. I may not get to see Adam. We're on the 15-minute chart here, if you haven't noticed. And we've been watching Ethereum and Bitcoin crack. And it's been nice to actually catch it the 4th time we've tried this. I know a lot of you guys have been with us pretty much every time, and I appreciate your support and making the chat fun. This is fun. So, where will Bitcoin bottom? Now, that's the question everybody wants to know. I can't say for sure. No, sorry guys, I'm kind of munching on some stuff here. No one knows the answer to that. At the same time, if you want some kind of a target, there is a possible head and shoulders pattern in Bitcoin. All right, let's go. There's a head and shoulders possible pattern in Bitcoin here, with your neckline right here, and your target is here, 29.34. Thanks, Crypto Money, and you're welcome, Eric. Always, buddy. Always like chatting with you guys. You know, it's really good for me because, number one, you know, if you can teach something, you know it really well. Now, I know I've been able to trade for quite some time, but it's actually nice to be able to chat with you guys and answer your questions and try to, you know, set you guys on the right path if you don't have one yet. You know, if you don't have a path yet, you're just trying to figure it out. Hopefully, I can give you a little bit of information that'll save you some money. So, yeah, I think I've seen this head and shoulders in Bitcoin before, but I haven't called it out. This is the first time I've actually called it out. And I think the reason I called it out is just because there's kind of a defined neckline, and that kind of led me to the head and shoulder. I don't like the shoulders to be as asymmetrical in terms of its distance from the head, but if it's any kind of pattern, this is it. If you want to drive some kind of a thing, this is it. You know, down here to this prior high. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Stay safe out there. Wear protection, and I mean stop losses, or stop losses, of course. And I will see you guys next time.